What's up, everyone? Welcome to Three Chicks in a Pod, the only female cast on Sideline Sports
Woo
Network.
woo!
I am Megan Price. I got Jen Lewis Matthews to my right or left, depending on how you're looking at it, and then Carrie Johnson also to the right or left, no matter how you're looking at it.
To the
How are
right,
you
to the
ladies doing?
right, to the left, to the left. I
It's
mean,
been a
everybody
while
wanted
for
to hear
you,
us
Sally.
sing, right?
How's everybody's day going? How's your week been going?
Pretty good. How about yours?
It's going pretty well. Rangers are actually kind of winning a few games. I don't know if that actually means anything
What?
because the Astros are in our division, and as we know, they're really, really good. But I've been enjoying baseball quite a bit this year, not because of my own team, but actually because of the two New York teams, and they are going to be playing each other. They're playing each other right now, and so it's a series for them between the Mets and the Yankees. And this year, the Mets are really good too. So they got on a little bit of a losing streak, and but I think it's going to be a great series between the two of them. But we have a little bit of news in the NBA. We've heard some rumors that the Celtics are interested in getting Kevin Durant. The first trade package we heard included Jalen Brown. Second trade
Boo.
package we second trade package we heard was Jalen Brown and Marcus Smart. So,
Boo boo.
Jen, we know you cover the Celtics. Carrie, what are your thoughts on this as well?
So I went looking because we talked about this last week, and we said that we felt like the teams are going to have to sacrifice a lot for to have KD potentially for just one
Mhm.
year, type thing. So what I found, and this was within the last hour or so, according to Yahoo Sports, is our Celtics offered Jalen Brown, Derek White, and a draft pick. Brooklyn has countered with, sure, we'll take that plus Marcus Smart, draft picks, and potentially one more rotation player.
Right.
Wow. So the things that I was looking at is teams are not wanting to give away their future for potentially just 1 year because let's be real. Is he going to be happy with the next place he lands, or is he going to be wanting to be shopping around again? This is what we discussed last week. So they're not
Right.
wanting to. They're going to be hesitant about throwing away the baby with the water to try to get one player. That's going to be.
I think that when you have a player with the caliber of Katie, and when I say this, I say when he's healthy, when he's on the court, because he does have a history of with injuries.
Mhm.
He is a top three player, possibly top two player in the league. You got LeBron, Katie, and probably Kawhi, and those are probably your top players in the league. And so basically, when you go somewhere, when you want to trade with one of these three players, you would give up anybody to get them. I mean, this is the only logical thing you can do. It doesn't really matter how old LeBron is. If you have a chance of getting LeBron, you're going to go get him. And KD's the exact same way. Generally, like, of course, those of us that are fans of a specific team and not player fans, we want to see our team, our franchise actually plan for the future, or you're going to end up like the Spurs. Well, Giannis, I got him at number 4. Um, I think that it's not surprising that they threw Marcus Smart in the mix, but I think that I would rather have them try and figure out a way to keep Smart. I think that Jalen Brown. I mean, you got to keep somebody to pair with KD, and obviously that's Tatum because that's your franchise player.
Right.
But I think throwing Derek White in the mix, I actually think that's good actually because he played with Patty Mills at the Spurs. They already know how each other plays, and they can come off the
Mhm.
bench together, and they would be able to work those rotations together because they already know how each other works. So I kind of like that move actually.
I'm just kind of opposed to anything with Jalen and Marcus, just because everybody has been trying to get rid of Jalen for 2 freaking years. Marcus the same way. Well, what happens when Marcus goes off on his teammates? Can I just say what? What? I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just sorry we didn't get to play James Tatum's 76ers, because I would have loved to whoop the Phillies' butts because the Celtics do have the 76ers number. All right.
That's
Sorry,
funny.
James Tatum. Just had to throw a little smack talk out for you, sir.
I just
All right.
I'm just curious, and I think we're going to touch about this even with our next subject is where is it that finding that point where he is happy and content. And yes, I get chasing rings, but at some point you've got to be able to say, hey, I'm ready to build.
Uh-huh.
I want to build something here and start something. And instead of running and chasing the rainbow, the rainbow moves every time you move. So I look at it as, as a outsider basically, and look at why would a team want to why would teams keep sacrificing and throwing away their teams that they have reasonable built with for potentially 1 year. So
Correct.
Because I don't think that
that's my
Katie has
nickel.
quite. I don't think Katie's quite hit the just 1 year type of contract. I think you get him for 2 to 3 years, and then he starts moving to the 1 year type of contracts, because I think he's 34 years old. So he's looking at his last contract for multi-year contract probably. And so, but I think, in my opinion, and for him to be able to keep his legacy intact as is, I think you got to stay in Brooklyn and figure it out. The only other move that would make sense to me would be Golden State on Katie's part. So, that's where I feel like, that's the only way that you're able to keep your legacy intact. But is there anything else you ladies got on Katie?
No.
I think that's it. And by the way, he's 33 years old. He was born the same year I graduated high school.
So you could be his mama?
Carrie,
you really needed to teach Kobe how to play sports,
Well, I needed a DNA test on KB just to make sure he isn't my child. I mean, at this point, right?
All right, guys. Well, we're going to move over to our next topic. We heard some breaking news. I actually heard some of it last night, but it was confirmed this morning. Liz Cambage parts ways with the LA Sparks. As a Wings fan and not a huge fan of Liz, I kind of like the news. I really hate the Sparks, but I was a little surprised by this. She signed with them in free agency. Last year, she was with the Aces. A couple years before that, she was with the Dallas Wings. So she's with her third team since 2018. 2018, she was literally the scoring champ. She was averaging 23 points. She was averaging almost 10 boards a game. And then now she's averaging about 25 games, about 13 points, and about 6.4 rebounds. So she's had a massive decline in 5 years, and it's kind of starting to look like she's had a massive decline in her mental health. There's been several incidents that have led up to this. Eric, did you get a chance to talk to your LA contact today?
I did. I actually talked to two of them. And first off, good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
I appreciate y'all having me on. I know this is 3 Chicks in a Pod. I'm glad you invited the dude on here. I did.
Right.
I did. And, it was a very intriguing conversation. And what I gathered from my sources out in Los Angeles were Liz, from what they're saying, she's not about basketball anymore. She's a DJ. She's about her entrepreneurship. She's about her business. And I think basketball is taking a back seat to what she really wants to do in her life. And so I was very surprised. Now, I will say this, like you said, Megan, leaving the Vegas Aces and coming over to LA, it seemed like there was going to be a chemistry. Now, unfortunately, they got rid of your favorite head coach and brought in this new interim, but he likes to play more of a fast-paced type of offense. And Liz I don't know if it's her mobility. I don't know if that's just how she plays, but it did not work in her favor. So yeah, I'm going to drop that probably later on tonight, but yeah, that's the mood and the sense is, I think, kind of the same along the lines of what you were saying, Megan. This might be a good for the team, but maybe too little too late for them as far as maybe getting into that last 7 or even 8 spot with regards to the postseason.
Well, they're tied for 6 with us right now. And so we have the exact same record, or the Wings. Sorry, guys, if you don't know that, that's who I cover.
If they don't, that's their fault.
All right. We're tied for
we
6th.
Knew.
We're tied for 6th. And so they're going to the playoffs most likely, unless barring something major happens and they lose every single game for the rest of the season. The season ends August 14th. Most of us have 7 to 8 games left. I anticipate them going. And if you haven't been watching LA with their interim coach, they look great. And it looks like maybe, hopefully, by the end of the season, it's looking like he should get a contract. Just my personal opinion. I think he did really well coming in mid-season. Not only did when they got rid of Derek Fisher, he was also the GM. So you come in and it's a whole you're taking over a mess. And then at that, you have Liz Cambage too. And so last summer, Eric and I were covering the All-Star game, the WNBA All-Star game. And so they took a break right after the All-Star game because the Olympics were about to happen. And while in LA, they played a few exhibition games and they played the Nigerian national team. And she had apparently an altercation with them. She claims there was some physicality between the players. And then she got pretty verbal, and some claim it was racist. She says it wasn't. So it was a lot of he said, she said type of scenarios. And so FIBA did not actually give her a suspension or any type of fine. And she will still be able to play for the Australian national team. But that kind of set the tone. And I don't know if you remember, Eric, last year after that happened, and I heard that she was going to be a free agent, that I said, I don't know if anybody's going to pick Liz up because of this. But she's 6'8". She has a presence there in the lane. She's one of the biggest ladies in the league. So, LA bought into that, but that was Derek Fisher's LA bought into that. And so, whenever the other coach took over, I think that it wasn't the right system for her. But I think it's more that she's not about basketball anymore. I agree. Like, I think she has a lot of other things going on. She's a model. She has an OnlyFans account where she makes quite a bit of money as well. She has other endorsements. She's a DJ, like you said, too. So just my personal opinion, it's time to either regroup and come back when you're happy to play basketball again, or it's time to retire.
No, I have a quick question. Actually, two. My first question is more superficial, more surface level. But wouldn't Vegas be a better DJ spot anyway? Like, I know that's
Vegas doesn't want her back.
Okay. Well, yeah,
but I think Jen you mean just as far as the entertainment piece, right?
From the entertainment aspect. Yeah.
I think Vegas is comparable to LA.
I would say so too. I mean, Vegas is probably
Miami would be there.
Miami would be good as well. I mean, we're talking major entertainment capitals. When you're talking media capitals, you've got New York, you got Los Angeles. Those are the big two.
Right.
Las Vegas for the entertainment side, I definitely agree with you, Jen. But to Megan's point, and this is what I asked my sources out in LA, I said, has she played her last game in the WNBA? And, they said to me, there's going to be a lot of internal stuff that she needs to handle before another general manager and or head coach looks at her and gives her an opportunity. This is how I feel. I feel like, I think there are two teams right now where this offseason, if she was to go in with a different mindset or a different, like she did a complete 180 and really focused her attention back on basketball, I think Sandy Brondello would give her a shot because she's worked with her overseas. That is her international coach.
I hadn't thought about that.
Or Indiana. Indiana, I think, will take anybody. I mean, they've been. Listen,
she could start a DJ scene in Indiana.
They've been stuck at the.
Cows even want to have fun.
I'm just saying they've been stuck at the bottom in quite some time. If you're talking about bringing the woman has scored the most points in a WNBA game in 2018. She scored 53 points. Okay. Sometimes I wonder if Indiana's ever going to get that in 3 quarters. You know what I mean? It's like if there was ever an opportunity to where, because we talk about NFL, players will always get a second, third, fourth chance, even though they have off the field stuff. I think Liz Cambage falls into that scenario. To where
that's where women are held to a higher standard, though.
Well, what about that chatter that we're hearing that maybe Liz could get picked up for the rest of the season for Phoenix because, they don't have a center right now like that. So is that a possibility?
Megan, I didn't think about that, but let me ask you this question in all sincerity. You really want to put 2, or actually now it would be 3 powder kegs in the same room? You're talking
Nygaard cannot.
Skylar Diggins.
Nygaard cannot control that.
That's what okay. So you want to throw more gasoline on the fire is what you want to do.
I mean, but the fans want it because obviously BG's presence is missed. That size is missed. You already got a shit show going on in your locker room. So, I mean, would you take her? Would you take her? I personally wouldn't, but I mean, I'm not Vanessa Nygaard. I'm not the, I'm not.
Well, you don't like the Vanessa anyway. You're not a fan of Vanessa.
Immediately, expeditiously.
Right. See, you're not a fan of Vanessa. Shout out to Will Vogel. I'm just saying, I don't think you throw more gasoline on that fire. I think it's only, I think DT and
he's a Mercury fan.
Skylar Diggins-Smith, I think we haven't seen the last of that friction. Now you want to throw Liz Cambage on top of that? No. That's a recipe for disaster. I'm not even trying to go to that cookout. No way, shape, form. I don't care how hot it gets. That would truly be, we would be living in hell for that to happen. No. Yeah.
I like the New York idea though.
No.
I hadn't thought about New York and about the fact that Sandy is her international coach. I'm still of the opinion. I think maybe this is the last we see of Liz. As far as with the W, I think she'll still play internationally. Lauren Jackson, she recently made the Australian national team again. So I feel like even as she's aging, there's a chance to come back. The physicality that she has, just her natural talent. Like I still think that she will be able to play, at least until she's 40. But I think she'll play on that international level. She's very critical of the W anyway, because before the season started, you clapping, Jen?
Yeah, my dogs were like trying to kill each other. Sorry.
I knew I was
like,
that.
How do I do this quietly? I'm like trying to get it away
well.
from the microphone. Sorry, Megan. And yes, you're doing spectacular.
Thank you. She was very critical before the season started of just the fact that Becky Hammon got paid $1 million. She's very critical of travel accommodations within the W, but I absolutely agree with her take on that. Yeah, I agree with her take on that one, but she's very critical of the W. So I think her time with the W has come to an end.
So what do they think the break is? Do you think she just doesn't like how the W was run?
Listen, she's probably speaking for a lot of women, Jen.
Honestly, because she said it's supposed to be the best league. She said it's supposed to be the best league in the world, and they get treated horribly. And that was basically a direct quote before the season started. Now, had things gone well in LA, I think maybe we would have seen Liz be able to kind of make a comeback in her career, but I think this was a fall from grace, and I think she's done with the W.
Now, what's the other league, Megan? The one that Sydney Colson was a part of during the winter? Didn't they had a league in Vegas? The AU. Yeah, AU. So what about that? Do you think Liz might be able to get picked up there?
Absolutely. Courtney Williams, when she was cut from Atlanta during the offseason, she was able to go do AU. She did so well over there that Connecticut Sun picked her up. So I think that is something, if she wanted to get back to basketball, that might be a possibility.
So from someone who, and I'm sorry, but I just don't know that much with, especially about the AU, someone who doesn't know that much, is the AU kind of like the XFL?
It's a shorter season. It takes place in Vegas. It's similar to tournament play, I would say. Okay. And they have like 4 teams. The captains draft their teams, and then they play for about a 6-week period. It's called Athletes Unlimited. They do more than just basketball, so it's an entire league of different sports as well. But they do televise some of the games, and they had quite a bit of coverage this past season. So, like I said, I think it could be a way to kind of revitalize her name and her career, and maybe come back when she's happy and kind of showcase her talent there and say, hey, I'm in shape. I came in, look at the numbers I put up for AU. Maybe a team would want to pick her up, but she's got to come in a situation when she's happy to be playing basketball. And that's not right now.
Right. And thank you, because I mean, I've heard about her. I've known about her. I know we've talked about her in the past. As you two know, you are my gurus in the WNBA. So thank you for that. So I don't ever even want to pretend to know nearly a tenth of what you guys know. Not yet, anyway. One day I'll give you Mr. Wilson a run for your money.
Soon enough, Jen. I mean, yeah, soon enough, Jen. Soon enough.
All right, Eric, but do you want to let everybody know where they can find you and where they can find this clip that you can put out with the Sparks contact that you had?
Yeah. So, again, thank you for having me on this. If y'all don't know where I'm at, then you've been living under a rock because, the Sports Arena is every Monday and Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on all social medias. Wednesday, we are blessed to have the Queen of Hoops join us, talking everything from hot topics to, listen, Megan and I will sit and talk WNBA for an hour. We don't care.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and yeah, just check all my social
Mhm.
media facets. My Twitter and my IG handle are at ECWilson76. It'll be on the Sideline Sports YouTube page. I'll be dropping it, and I have to get this stuff done within the next 36 minutes because my team is in the Commissioner's Cup, and I'm going to be
Woohoo!
watching this.
Indeed.
Yes, I have
And
to see them.
best of luck because
Thank you. Thank you.
you know what the Aces are bringing.
Listen, I just need another 29 point deficit to come back and beat them again. That's what I need. If
Oh
listen, if
no,
Vegas wants to
they
go,
coming in with that chip on their shoulder.
if
Promise.
Vegas wants to go all out in the first quarter and exhaust themselves, hey, feel free. Put up 40. I don't care. We just gonna come back and take it from you. And salute, my MVP is back. She was out under concussion protocols, but she is back playing tonight.
Oh.
So yeah.
Well, and Asia Wilson just got her 4th Player of the Week
I know.
yesterday.
Listen, it's fine. I respect what Becky Hammond has done. I love that team. I am fearful of Kelsey Plum because when she gets rolling, forget about it. But and if NECA's gonna be NECA, we know that. So I know that. I'm sorry, NECA's with LA. My apologies. Asia. Asia's gonna be Asia. Kelsey's gonna be Kelsey. I just know that our bench predominantly is one of the best benches out there.
Mhm.
So if Dana and Z, uh, Julie, even if we get Lee Yuri involved in some type tonight, it's going to be a game from top to bottom, regardless. So, but again, thank you,
And for
ladies.
those of you that don't know, the Commissioner's Cup is where the top teams in the WNBA play each other for a $500,000 award and a certain amount that goes to charities as well. It will be on Prime Video or NBA TV. Eric, thank you so much.
Good luck for your
appreciate
team
y'all.
tonight, Eric.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank
I will
you,
holler at
Eric.
y'all. See it.
Bye.
All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and move over to our next topic. This was one of our feel-good stories.
And we
Jen,
may
you wanna
segue
take it?
into next week a little more too. But yeah,
Okay,
sorry to interrupt
awesome.
you.
No,
Okay.
go ahead. We're going to be talking about Lynn Cox. And Jen, go ahead and talk to us about who that is.
So Lynn Cox is one of my heroes. She is an American swimmer. She was a long distance open water swimmer. And she predominantly did a lot of cold water swimming. She won the race across the English Channel twice. In 1971, she and her teammates were the first group of teenagers who completed the crossing of the Catalina Island Channel in California. She swam the Cook Strait in New Zealand. She swam the Straits of Magellan in Chile, Cape of Good Hope in South Africa. This is what she's really known for. Colin Powell actually made this statement several times throughout his career, rest in peace, and especially right after it happened. In 1987, on August 7th, so we're coming up to the year anniversary, she actually swam the Bering Strait. It took 2 hours and 6 minutes. This water was really, really frigid, okay? 43 to 44 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 to 7 degrees Celsius. Now, the only people living on the Diomede Islands at that time were Inuits, Eskimos, and you couldn't really travel amongst the groups back then, amongst the different tribes. And yes, this was in the 80s, and you still couldn't do that. But Lynn Cox is credited with helping start the conversations on ending the Cold War. And when we were talking about Brittany Griner last week, I can't talk again this week. We were discussing how, and I forgot the athlete that's going at boxer who's half Russian, or who's Russian and American.
It's Roy Jones Jr.
Thank you, Roy Jones Jr. And that just made me think of Lynn Cox and how she helped. I would love to see if Lynn Cox could help in this case,
Right.
to be honest with you. Female athlete to female athlete. I love that a lot of the men are standing up for her. I love the WNBA standing up for her. Our government needs to do a little more, and I would love to see if Lynn Cox could use some of her, wiles and her athleticism. I mean, I know she hasn't really been able to swim across the channel, the Bering Strait, in a couple of years, but
Right. She
I'd
is
really
now
love
70.
to. Yeah. I mean, it might be a little chilly for her now, but
So at the time, Gorbachev was the leader of
Mhm.
the Soviet Union, and he was quoted as saying, "Last summer, it took one brave American of the name Lynn Cox just 2 hours to swim from one of our countries to the other. We saw on television how sincere and friendly the meeting was between our people and the Americans when she stepped onto the Soviet shore. She proved by her courage how close to each other our people live." And so I thought that was pretty cool. That was what stuck to me out of that story. That it wasn't just our president that praised her; it was both sides.
well, and the men and women of the Inuit villages warmed her body, her core body temperature, because when you're swimming in that cold water, your body temperature is going to drop, and it's
Right.
going to drop fast. And they took the time to literally warm her up so she wouldn't get hypothermia. Okay, go, Carrie.
No, I haven't. I'll be really honest. I haven't got to go as in depth as I'd like to, but just the fact that she's been willing to do these huge challenges that not many people can do, let alone women that have branched out
Right.
there, speaks volumes. I mean, it shows that once you put your mind to something, once you decide, hey, this is what I'm going to do, your mind is that powerful enough that it can help you make it to the end result. I mean, obviously there's a lot of work that goes into meeting that, especially with swimming. I mean, I was on swim team. I know what you put into it, but it's like that distance, that amount of time swimming solid.
Right.
It's very impressive. So, but
yeah, and I was
she
a long
obviously is
distance
really
swimmer,
good.
and I'm so impressed by everything she could do. If you guys get the opportunity, I highly recommend going to Amazon and getting Swimming to Antarctica, because she also swam to Antarctica. No, on that one it was
I think
only
she has like 3 different books, and so
she has
I
a
think it's
couple
great.
more. Hold on. She has Swimming to Antarctica. That was her first book. Then she has Grayson, which is the story about one of the whales that she would swim with when she would practice.
Oh yeah.
South with the Sun. I haven't read that one. I need to. Open Water Swimming Manual, an expert survival guide for triathletes and open water swimmers. I'm not a triathlete, so I haven't read that one. And Elizabeth, Queen of the Seas, as well as Swimming in the Sink, an episode of The Heart. Those are the check her stuff out. She's awesome. Like, she should be everybody's kind of hero. I'm gonna put up Jahan's comment again, because even though he was talking about Liz, that's how I feel about Lynn. Like,
Right?
all gas, no brakes. Like, she's breaking records. Like, I don't know. Like, she's just all that in a bag of chips. And I mean, I'll talk about her for hours on end. So I just
I
haven't
mean,
in a
and
while. So
I
thank you,
think
Carrie. You made me think of her last week. So thank you, Carrie.
Oh,
and one of her, like, she was still swimming well into the 2000s. So I mean, just the
Once a
amount of
swimmer, always a
athleticism.
swimmer.
Very true. Very true. And so we touched on mental health within female athletes a little bit as we talked about Liz. And, as we talk about BG as well, free BG. Next week, we're definitely going to be talking about the effects of mental health within female athletes. So make sure that you guys check that out with us next week. We've also had a story that came out this week where Kelsey Plum, who plays for the Las Vegas Aces, talked about her mental health as well. She was actually the #1 draft pick in 2016, and that was like at the height of her depression, when she was at the height of her career. So I think we want to highlight that a little bit. And if you guys have any other topic suggestions, feel free to hit us up, whether it's within the group or our individual DMs. Thank you, everybody, for watching, commenting, and sharing. Do you ladies have anything or any upcoming projects that you want to talk about?
Confidential. Oh, sorry.
I was just say that I'm really interested, because I found it late before this started, was the article I shared with you ladies privately, but it was about the soccer player that played. Was it for Penn State that was stepped in for the kicker?
Oh yes, Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt, yes, against Penn State. Wasn't it? I think.
Yes.
At any rate, she has become an advocate about mental health and in the college, and so I'm really interested in reading that. That's intriguing that it might be my evening read. So.
All right. Well, be sure to tune in next week with us, guys. Same time, same place. Jen, you got anything?
Check out Confidential for all you Cubbies fans. Tonight we're doing roundtable version. It's usually hosted by JB Ellis. Tonight, Jordan Long will be hosting duties. Jacob Kressner and Steve Schwanda, and of course Jordan Long, and obviously produced by the producer with a moster, Mr. Denzel Snipes. Then we'll be coming into the football season and then NBA season before too long. And we also have Pundit. And check out Basketball Bros. I produce Basketball Bros. It's a great basketball show about just 4 guys talking hoops and getting corrected by a chick. It's awesome.
I love that. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching, and you can catch us back next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.